guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for tuning in on today's video. We are finally getting back to what I know a lot of you guys have been anticipating upon, and that is going to be the race truck build, getting the engine together. As many of you remember, we actually had the block off at the machine shop where they align honed it, 20 over bore, balanced the bottom end, and we have gotten everything back for that, and we are starting the assembly process. So let's jump into this video, kick it off, show you what we've got done. I know some of you guys are going to be slightly disappointed that I did not do much recording regarding the crank install, bearings, the rings, putting the pistons in, or Callie's assassin rods as well, camshaft. I did not record much of anything regarding the assembly process up to this point, and there's a good reason for it. Primarily, everything required to get to this point requires both of my hands and all of my attention to get to this point. And so I really wanted to make sure I was focusing on the installation process of everything more than worrying about capturing the video. So I apologize for those of you that were waiting for me to kind of walk through the assembly process. That is my fault, but I needed to make sure that everything went together the way it's supposed to, and the way that I wanted it to, and so I needed to dedicate my attention to the assembly process. So let's go over here real quick. We've got a KDD stage 3 cam. We have welded the gear to our camshaft. You can see we've got our plate inside of there. That is the first thing that goes in. Once you have completely cleaned, we probably spent half a day just brake cleaning the crap out of this engine block, making sure it was perfectly clean before we started assembly. Now, I like to use this stuff, or this stuff, it's basically the same stuff, for bearings, as well as what we coated our camshaft in before we installed it. So you can see it in there. Does a really nice job of covering and staying on there really well. Same thing with our crankshaft, and all of our bearings in the bottom end all got coated like that. Now our bottom end has completely been balanced with our rods, so each one of these were set in place based on whether this was 1, 3, 5, 7, and then 2, 4, 6, 8 on the other side. They were all labeled from our machine shop. So that was awesome. Our pistons were labeled as well with the rod, depending on the hole. The only thing we had to do was file fit our rings for these pistons. So we kind of went on the higher end of the spec for our rings. That way we made sure we had enough room for obviously higher boost levels, nitrous, of course. So we clocked our rings before we installed our pistons. Everything got lubricated properly, made sure everything was clean before install. Now these are from Kill Devil Diesel. They are 10 thousandths reduced compression, and then they have 100 thousandths valve reliefs into them as well. So we should not have any issues regarding valve to piston contact. We still need to measure piston protrusion. We've got brand new, this is our crank sensor, brand new crank sensor, brand new cam sensor. The Ford bottom end seal kit comes with these new plugs for the block. So you can see both of those. So that's really nice. We have been using the Ford kit. So it's got our front and rear main seal. We've got all of our bottom end gaskets, seals and gaskets as well. Dipstick tube and oil drain plug as well. Everything we would need to basically put the bottom end together. This is a brand new Ford front cover as well. Pretty simple install here. Made sure everything was nice and clean before install. And then we do have a little bit of silicone right here and here where the bed plate meets our block. So we've just got a little bit before we put on our gasket. We actually had to clean this front cover, this brand new front cover, up quite a bit. There was actually some sand inside of these ports, so we had to clean those up really well before sticking this on. Everything's been torqued down, ready to go. For the bottom end here, we've got our main studs. Our crank bore was aligned honed because of the main studs that were installed. And We've got Callie's Ultra Assassin connecting rods connected to our KDD pistons. And this is our upper oil pan, is what Ford calls it. This is our new oil pickup, and that is because we've got an extra deep oil pan here. Billet aluminum oil pan, and yeah, we've got to weld a bung into it first before we install this, so that when in the future, if we ever run a compound setup of some sort, we have an extra drain in this oil pan. So we can't install this just yet until we get this welded in, which I'll get some good footage of that being welded in, and of course this being installed. But this can hold a lot more oil because this thing is going to be oil hungry, and so we had to get a custom length oil pickup to go with our extra deep oil pan. But our first task for today is getting these beautiful Johnson lifters installed. These are not Johnson high lift. These are the true American-made Johnson lifters that we actually bought from KDD. These are the short travel lifters. So we also have custom length push rods because these are short travel lifters. They also sent us new lifter guides as well. So we're going to get these all pushed into here. We've got our hardware associated for it right there. And so we're going to go ahead and get these installed. We are going to be, I think, we're going to be sticking with the 03 and 04 pump. We're going to go with maybe an adrenaline, I think from Diesel Site. We've got the wavy oil rails, so these will still accept a standpipe and dummy plug. So this is kind of that weird year in between 03 and 04. So we'll get the benefits of the wavy oil rail with the higher output adrenaline pump that we can get from Diesel Site. So I think that's what we're going to end up doing. This was actually brand new, so we're not going to be replacing this. We are going to reseal everything, of course. We do have to get the bolt and bushing that goes here as well. But yeah, our first task for today is to get these. These have been soaking for about, I don't know, 48 hours or so in this oil. And so we're going to be putting them into our associated lifter guides and get them installed. So with our lifters installed and our branch tube, the next thing we're going to be doing is installing this beautiful piece here from River City Diesel there. This is their billet low pressure oil pump. So it's this middle gear that likes to explode. So from what I understand, this is a factory outer gear, but this middle gear is the one that likes to explode when you're above that 4,000 RPM range. So they've, like it says here, lifetime explosion guarantee. We're going to be pushing the race truck well over 4,000 RPM, so we're definitely going to need this. Pretty slick little setup here from RCD. It also comes with the cover that goes over top of that, and then also both of the little dowels that line this up. It does not come with new bolts, but our lower end seal kit from Ford came with new bolts for this piece here. So we'll go ahead and get this installed. Now, it's really important when we're installing this, we're going to douse it in this stuff here, and we're going to fill every little nook and cranny. This should really help prime up the oil system so that we can start pumping oil up to our high-pressure pump. So we'll go ahead and get this installed. And that, guys, is going to wrap up today's video. Sorry there wasn't more action going on. We're kind of waiting up on a few things here. The primary thing, one of the biggest things we're waiting on are the Icon cylinder heads from Kill Devil Diesel. They're aluminum, polished, ported. Big stainless steel valves is their new Icon series, so I'm super excited about getting those in. Hopefully we see those pretty soon. I ordered them back in November, and yeah, it's May 1st today. So it's been a minute, but hopefully we will get those in, and then we will also get our oil pan sealed up once we get this little guy welded in for our compound setup maybe in the future. But yeah, we got everything kind of taped off for now. That way everything can stay nice and sealed. It's tricky in this barn with the moisture, so we got to be super careful. I've been wrapping this thing up like it's going to bed for a while every time. So we're probably going to get our high pressure oil pump ordered here pretty soon, so we'll be able to get that installed, as well as our oil cooler delete plate. We're going to reseal that, put that in there, because we're running the O-Dogs intake manifold. We got to plug this port up here. We're also getting some stuff from SoCal Billet, so we're going to be plugging this port here and this port here as well. So yeah, no, the only coolant really going in and out is going to be our upper and lower radiator hose. So really exciting stuff, guys. This gives you a really good some insight as to where we're at with the race truck, what's going on, and some really cool stuff to come. Again, I can't thank everybody enough for the continued support, not only here on YouTube, but also on the website. Make sure you guys are heading over there, picking up for yourself a shirt, hat, sticker, whatever it may be. Any little bit helps to finish this project up so that we can start going to races and having all sorts of cool, fun, exciting stuff going on. So thank you for tuning in on today's video. Like, subscribe, drop a comment. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.